Yes, I was on the club stream yesterday and Adam and Rory called Pirlo average. Couldn't believe my ears. You guys all know how I feel about Pirlo. I think Pirlo is one of the most underrated players of the last 20 years, honestly. Like, I feel like when we talk about all these great modern day midfielders, the Zidans, the Xavis, the Iniestas, the Modric's, the Crosses, all amazing players, by the way, right? They all deserve their flowers. But I always feel that Pirlo is somebody that deserves to be in that category. Let's see what they got to say, man.
Who's the best Italian player now?
Whatever.
Bastoni.
Best Italian player ever, before they answer. It's probably Maldini, right? Who's it depends, right? Maldini is probably like their most like decorated player, one of their most famous players. It's tough to say it's not Maldini. Baggio is probably their most talented player. But me, I love Pirlo. Like I just think Pirlo has the longevity, has the silverware, has the class, like did it in numerous eras, like changed his role so many times, is part of like two dynastic clubs in Juventus in the 2010s, kind of started that dynasty off, was part of the amazing Milan team as well too. And like his departure from one to the other almost signified like the passing of the guard between Milan and Juve. So for me, I love Pirlo, but it's tough to say of a nation like Italy, right? Like when I think of Italy, I think of calcio, like defensive football. And that's why I think if you're thinking defensive football of Italy, Maldini is the guy. But I'd be interested in seeing too, what do the Italians in here think? Buffon, yeah, I mean, he might be. Buffon has an argument to be the best in his position ever, right? And yeah, Baggio, I wouldn't disagree with anybody who says Baggio.
Gianfranco Zola.
Who's the best?
Gianfranco Zola.
He's not. Maldini's the best Italian player of all time.
Gianfranco Zola.
Pirlo's my favourite.
Oh, you're one of them guys.
Average, mate.
Love.
He was world class for at least 7 or 8 years.
Del Piero should get a mention.
What? Can I tell you guys this, right? Andrea Pirlo in 2012, and I think 2012, right? The Euros in 2012 was probably the tournament that made the wider known public more aware of Andrea Pirlo. Because let's be honest, right? Pirlo had 8-9 years before that Euro where he was consistently one of the best midfielders on the planet. Consistently. But I always felt Pirlo, his game got undervalued, especially by the English. But I do feel like Euro 2012, especially that game against England, first of all, made English people realize how good he was, which is funny because he was always good. And then I always say too, and it's going to sound very dumb, but trust me, I saw the change in opinion honestly tweak within a summer. The summer that Andrea Pirlo came back growing his beard out, all of a sudden the entire footballing world started giving Andrea Pirlo his flowers. Even though he had been just as good and probably better for the last 6-7 years. I'm telling you, once he grew out the beard, everybody all of a sudden loved Andrea Pirlo. Oh, he's so classy. Oh, he drinks wine. His beard is so majestic. Which it was. I'm not saying any of that is incorrect. Let me not say anything different. But I promise you, Andrea Pirlo was one of the first benefactors of pretty privilege in football. I watched pretty privilege directly impact the way people viewed Andrea Pirlo. I promise you that. The minute he came back with a beard, everybody all of a sudden loved Andrea Pirlo. It was sickening. It was sickening because all of us were saying, bro, it's the same player that was amazing at Milan. At the World Cup in 2006, I promise you guys, Zidane got the plaudits. Zidane was amazing. I genuinely believe Pirlo has an argument to being the best player at that World Cup. And at Euro 2012, he has an argument to being the best player at that tournament too. For me, I always say it, right? When it comes to that table one of midfielders, I have my Zidane there. I have my Xavis and Iniestas there. My Modric is there. I think Pirlo sits with them, bro. What is he missing in his game, on his resume, on the eye? What is he missing that separates them from him? He has longevity. He has the eye test. He has the silverware. He has the individual honors. He has everything. He's done it at international level. Maldini here has won. He has everything, bro. International resume. Resume in the Champions League. Dominated the Serie A. Was the best player in the league in almost like 2 different eras. Just an unbelievable player, bro. Honestly, an unbelievable player. What about Toni Kroos on that table? Yeah, Kroos can sit at that table too. For me, I've never believed that, only 5 people can sit at the table. I always believe that some players have a little more food on their plate than the other. But Pirlo, I'd love to hear the reasoning for why Pirlo cannot chat to a Modric, for example, or why he can't chat to a Toni Kroos. Why not? Is it because they play for example, or is it because they're on our TVs all the time now compared to 10 years ago? Is it because they won 3 Champions Leagues in a row, which is great? I'm not trying to take that away from them, but is that the reason why? I don't know, man.